Today, we're going to perform a dermaplaning procedure. Dermaplaning will be followed by a chemical peel treatment. Yes, it is indeed possible to combine different treatments together. Dermaplaning can be done independently or in conjunction with other treatments. Allow me to explain the steps involved in dermaplaning and how to properly perform it. We'll begin by putting on gloves, as we will be touching the client's face. This is more professional. I will start by cleansing her face. I've used a pump of cleanser. I'll add a little bit of water. And now, we're going to emulsify the product. Just like this. We're going to gently massage it into the client's face. When using a cleanser, there's no need to perform a lengthy massage. It's primarily meant to emulsify and cleanse the surface of the skin. We ensure that all areas of the face are properly cleansed. You can extend the cleanser down to the nape of the neck and the décolleté, but today, we'll be concentrating more on the face. When cleansing the nose, make sure you always leave your finger on one nostril, then clear the other. Otherwise, you run the risk of blocking both nostrils. So, once the face is clean, we'll rinse. So, I'll take a moist towel. I always test the temperature to see if the towel is too hot. And then we wrap the top. Even if we cover the lips, it's perfectly okay, as long as we leave the nose clear, so the client can still breathe. I'll just apply a little bit of pressure with the towel. When I switch sections, I will pick up another part of the towel and continue from there. Now that I've rinsed the face, I'll just change my gloves, since I've got cleanser on my gloves. Just before I put my gloves on, I want to perform the skin analysis. I want to see if the clientele has a skin type that can receive the treatments, if there's anything on the face that I notice. I'll be able to take my lamp here. You don't have to look directly into the magnifying glass, it is your choice, but it can be useful. So right now, to the touch. I don't feel that there's oily skin. I even feel that there's a little dryness in the cheeks. If I look at the chin, there's a little active rash, which means that with dermaplaning, I'll have to be careful not to touch that zone. According to our skin analysis, there's nothing else I'm going to have to watch out for. Of course, we've got permanent makeup on the eyebrows, so with the chemical peel, I won't go over it, otherwise we run the risk of fading the color a little, something the client doesn't necessarily want to do. With dermaplaning, you can observe that there's a diagonal tip right here. Therefore, the blade will come to rest precisely at this spot. So, if I take the blade, it's right here. It's individually wrapped and sterile, which means I'll be able to open it. I will leave half the blade inside. That way, I can protect my fingers in case I make a wrong move. As you can see, there's a little diagonal right here. If I look with my tip right now, they're upside down. That means that my blade, I have to turn it to the other side so that the diagonal corresponds with the one here. When we just installed it, at the handle here, there's a small crevice right here, into which we've just placed the blade. So, I'll install it like this. And we'll push. That's it. As long as I'm doing a treatment, especially with dermaplaning, microneedling, or other treatments where they ask me to look at the reaction of the face, I'll always place a little light over it, just to get a better overall view. When it comes to dermaplaning, it's still a blade. Therefore, you have to exercise caution when handling it. If you don't handle it properly, there are potential risks involved. One of the risks could be accidentally cutting the customer's face. Personally, I've never seen any significant cuts with dermaplaning, just minor scratches here and there. If, at any point during dermaplaning, we happen to make a small cut on the customer, it's crucial to come and take a gas, like this. So, here we are, and let's say we've made a small cut on the forehead. First, we apply good pressure, and then we hold that pressure for a few minutes, until the bleeding stops completely. Once the bleeding has stopped, of course, we mention to the customer that we've made a small mistake, that we've made a small cut on the face, and we don't continue the treatment on that area. If the customer wants to stop the treatment, she can too. So, that's why you really need to get the handling right with dermaplaning. So, with dermaplaning, you can make up to 3 passes. There's nothing stopping you from doing just 1 pass, 2 passes, or up to a maximum of 3. You're going to look at the client's reaction, and you're also going to think about the treatments you're going to do afterwards. Also on the face, some people's hairline can go a little lower than others. So, it's really important to communicate with the client to find out if she wants us to remove a little bit of the hairline or if she prefers to leave it exactly as it is. When you do dermaplaning, it's crucial to have a good angle. Right now, my blade isn't on the client, it's positioned on top. So, a 90-degree angle, that's what we need here. But if I do my dermaplaning like that, it doesn't work. What I want to do is a angle of 45 degrees. So, if we take the 90, we're going to go halfway to 45 degrees, and we're going to do the dermaplaning at that angle. So, I'm going to hold the skin tight enough to make sure I don't get any skin folds when I do my dermaplaning. Otherwise, once again, there's a slight risk of cutting the cream. The skin is stretched. I'm going to do my dermaplaning between my 2 fingers. We'll do 1 pass, 2 passes, 3 passes. We'll follow each other right next to each other. 1 pass, 2 passes, 3 passes. We'll switch sides. 1 pass, 2 passes, 3 passes. And so on for the whole zone. We are going to the side of the cheek here. What you can do is either follow the shape of the thumb at the level of the hairs. You could go from the bottom up, like this here. Or you could go from the inside out. We're going to pull the face. If it's hard for you to do a full line, you can do little lines. So, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 breaks the whole hand. As for the lower part of the face, personally, I prefer to go from the bottom to the top, but go according to your preference. So, when you come to the side here at the sideburns, it's important to ask the client how far she wants you to go, otherwise you risk undoing the natural hairline and the client won't be satisfied. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come and take the little hairs that are longer, I'm going to hold them up, and I'm going to come and cut off what's sticking out. Nevertheless, so the nose, there's a lot of curvature, a lot of hollows, so it's important to have a certain dexterity with the dermaplaning. So, I'm going to stretch the nose to get as flat a surface as possible, and I'm going to go like this. This is very important. Here, I'm going to turn my blade to show you. When you come to do a movement, it's crucial to lift the blade before doing another area. Never slide the blade forward. Otherwise, that's when you'll create a little cover on the top. If your client has a small unibrow, it is possible to work between the eyebrows. Just try not to break the natural line of the eyebrow. That is exactly how you do a dermaplaning. Don't hesitate to pull the mouth. Just like earlier, like we mentioned before, we've got a bit of active acne here. We don't go on top of it. We can definitely go above it, no problem at all. We can come underneath, on the sides, but never directly underneath, otherwise we risk breaking the delicate skin that's formed to protect the area and spreading the bacteria elsewhere. There's a risk of more significant eruptions in the vicinity. That's it for dermaplaning. It's crucial to dispose of the blade properly. So, what I'm going to do is wedge the blade in the little piece of paper I saved earlier. Once it's wedged in, I'm going to hold the blade firmly. My thumb here is going to push on the little tab and we're going to pull the blade at the same time as pushing on the tab. Just like that. After that, we'll buy the blade in a bio-risk. So, we're done with the dermaplaning. There are still a few hairs that have fallen out, the little dead skin. So, I'm just going to come and do a quick rinse before continuing with the chemical peel. If you like, the towel is still warm. We could leave it on the client's chest and come in to do a few relaxing manipulations. It's not mandatory, but it's a little extra that you could offer to your customers. That is how to do a dermaplaning.